to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, if you've ever experienced deep shame, and I'm not just talking about being ashamed, like you did something and you were like, oh, I'm ashamed I did that. I'm talking deep shame, like there is something wrong with you, like you don't deserve to be alive because of that kind of shame, then you might be able to connect to the essence of this hypnosis session. Because I was working with a client that, based on their childhood, shame was used as one of the primary weapons to control them, to humiliate, to make them feel exposed, to make them feel vulnerable, to effectively control them by the fear of being publicly shamed. Now, because of that childhood, they were very sensitive to anything that felt like judgment, anything that felt like conflict, anything that felt like all eyes were on them. Of course, they were highly sensitized to that because that was such a brutal weapon used against them in childhood. So this hypnosis session aims to release a lot of childhood shame and release the key ingredients that lead to judgment. And that's really important because actually acceptance is one of those things that if you truly accept certain areas, then being shamed or judged or criticized doesn't really work. And I'll share this with you because I think it's helpful. When I was in my 20s, I started losing my hair and I was quite self-conscious about that. And I hadn't accepted that. And therefore, if someone made a comment or was kind of made a joke about it, I was triggered by that. I was sensitive about that. And I don't feel that way now because I fully accept that I'm bald and I think I look okay with no hair. But it comes from self-acceptance, that if I didn't accept it, then it would still be a trigger for me. Now, for the client I was working with, it was other things. It was things about dominance. It was things about control. It was things about winning and losing that were triggers for them. But acceptance is still the antidote to that feeling of being ashamed or criticized or judged. So if you can relate to any of those themes, you might get some value from this session. But to get the most of the session, I would encourage you to think, what is it that you feel ashamed about, or what is it that triggers you? Because that will give us a clue as to the area of your life that you may still benefit from a level of self-acceptance. So hold that thought, and then as you listen to the session, the suggestions that are relevant to you and your circumstances will be more influential than if you just listened passively. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, that's it. Allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, adjust your body in such a way where each breath allows you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. Scan your whole body for clues of tension, perhaps around your forehead, your jaw, your neck, or your shoulders. Breathing in relaxation and exhaling tension. Consider every outward breath as a release. A release of shame. A release of judgment. A release of any feelings of unworthiness. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in radical self-acceptance. The kind of acceptance that can make you immune to criticism, judgment, or the manipulation of others. And I want you to think that if self-acceptance had a color, what color would it be? And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a glowing color of radical self-acceptance. And I want you to think of things that in the past created some kind of reaction, shaking, overthinking. And I want you to allow your unconscious mind to consider all of your beliefs, all of your rules, like a complex game of four-dimensional chess. Those times in the past that you were triggered is like a move, and think of the counter move as a question. What would I need to accept within myself so that if the same thing was to happen again, it wouldn't bother me at all? And you might be surprised to learn that it may come down to just one or two things. What you accept within yourself, or perhaps how you evaluate the person that's doing the judging, the criticizing, or behind the conflict. Continue to breathe in relaxation, exhale tension. Breathe in worthiness, exhale unworthiness. Breathe in acceptance and exhale judgment. I want you to explore a possibility. What if your harshest critic is yourself? What if most of the judgment is coming from you? I want you to imagine that if you were attempting to play chess with yourself, if you're both the player and the opponent, how is it possible to win? If a part of you wins, the other part loses. And if the other part wins, the original part loses. And I want you to get a sense that radical self-acceptance starts with finding a sense of harmony within. want you to imagine a place that you used to spend time alone in childhood. Perhaps a safe place. A place that even if you didn't feel safe outside, in that place, you felt safe, even if it was just within your imagination. And when you found a place like that, let me know by nodding your head. And I think there's a part within that has been using judgment and shame and criticism as a way to fuel your success and accomplishments. And if that feels true, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine being there in that safe place to invite that part of you into the room. The part that judges you harshly if you lose or fail, don't quite meet an exceptionally high standard. And when that part is in the room with you, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to see how that part seems. Are they insecure or confident? Are they strong? Are they weak? Do they feel wise or on edge? And I want you to thank that part. It's not expecting to be thanked. It thinks it's going to be criticized. But I want you to thank that part for a wonderful intention. And I want you to ask that part if it's trying to do something good for you. And if it is, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to ask that part if it's trying to help you succeed and accomplish and grow, or if it's something else. And if it's to succeed and accomplish, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to ask that part, what is it doing for you? And if it responds, let me know by nodding its head. That's it. And I want you to acknowledge that a wonderful intention can lead to a great deal of stress. Sometimes low self-worth. It might have been trying to give you high standards to help you find acceptance, love, respect. But I want you to ask that part if it's willing to help meet the underlying intention in a different way. And if it's receptive and responsive to that, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to stream, almost telepathically, memories of all of the emotional pain that you felt as a direct consequence of these good intentions. Moments you felt unsafe, unworthy, small and vulnerable and weak. telepathically stream those memories straight to this part that have these wonderful intentions. Like you're colliding intention with consequence, while acknowledging that it's given you a lot of good things: motivation, work ethic, responsibility, drive. But it's also come at a cost. And if that part responsible for those good intentions acknowledges that these intentions have come at a cost, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to reassure that part that it can keep the intention, maintain the high standards, but avoid some of the emotional pain. Because how can you have the highest standards if you feel unsafe, unworthy? I want you to communicate to that part that whenever someone is triggered, they can be manipulated. And I think this part is so influential because it helped you cope with an unfair past. And if that's true, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to offer this part a new role. That instead of strict standards and rules, it uses acceptance, inspiration, and encouragement. You can never lose your drive for success and accomplishment. But that doesn't mean it has to be done in only one way. You can accept yourself and still have a desire to improve yourself. You can accept your current capabilities while striving to improve them. You can accept current limitations or weaknesses while planning on defending and strengthening them. And if this part is willing to help you in a way where you feel more resourceful than ever before, through a hybrid of self-acceptance and a desire to grow because you value growth, not because you need external validation or permission, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to promote that part. Give it more responsibility. But make that additional responsibility include radical self-acceptance. They say you can't manage what you don't measure. How can you improve something if you can't accept where you are? And if that part is willing to neutralize feelings of shame and judgment through radical self-acceptance without losing the hunger to grow and improve, then it's worthy of its promotion. If it's willing to take on that increased responsibility, let me know by nodding your head, and then seal it with a handshake, a hug with this part, and then notice how the physical representation of this part is now evolving, changing somewhat. Maybe it seems more nuanced, wiser, more capable, more influential. And I have a feeling that this part will embrace this new role. Because how can you truly be at your highest standards if the stick of judgment and shame is used to motivate you, rather than the carrot of growth, of improvement, of pride and fulfillment? I want you to imagine seeing that part responsible for all of this shame and judgment leaving, but with a new insight, a new role, a new level and way of thinking. But before we leave this safe place, I want you to connect with some ideas. You begin to notice how safe it feels to let your worth come from inside you rather than other people's words or reactions. And each time you accept yourself more fully, your body naturally relaxes and your mind becomes more at peace. It's your own judgment that carries more weight. And there's no need to scan or brace for judgment when you already know who you are. And don't be surprised if other people's opinions gently lose their power as your own inner authority grows stronger. Disagreement does not mean rejection, and difference does not mean danger. And your nervous system is learning that confrontation can be calm, respectful, even useful. And the more you accept yourself, the less vigilant your mind needs to be. And you notice that judgment from others communicates more about them than it ever did about you. Your body releases tension the moment you stop bracing for criticism that never truly belonged to you. And each day, you rely more on your own internal standards and less on any external validation. And as you think of your future, you feel a growing sense of freedom as self-acceptance replaces fear and calm replaces vigilance. Imagine yourself a year from now, a year of having that part within work as an ally, as an internal coach rather than a harsh judge and critic. A year where your self-worth comes from your own evaluations, not the evaluations of others. And if this future feels more desirable, more empowering, and you're reassured that you still grow, accomplish and succeed, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. So now it's time to leave that safe place, and start to float all the way back to the present, taking all of these changes with you, and in particular the change to that part with the positive intention that had the unintended side effect of excessive shame and judgment. So take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.